G'day, today I'm going to show you how to change an alternator belt or a air conditioning belt on a Suzuki Swift. This one's a 2006 model and I'll show you a step-by-step procedure of how it's done. First thing we do is disconnect the battery. You'll need an 8mm socket and let's disconnect it here, making sure you don't touch anything metal with your socket. Disconnected. Okay, I always like to chock the opposite wheel that I'm about to take off. So this is the rear left-hand wheel. Put a chock in. Now I'm going to jack the car up using my little jack here. I'll show you a good spot to jack from. Push that in. Line it up with the chassis rail there. Jack away. Okay, the car's jacked up. Now I've got a 19mm socket. Just going to take the wheel nuts off. What this is going to do to make it easier for us to get to the belts through a cover behind the guard. This is the cover that we want to remove. So you'll see these little plastic tubs here, and there's one just behind here, and there's two bolts underneath here. You just need a flat blade screwdriver, and you just need to clip these out. You just put your screwdriver in the little slot there, twist it until the center bit comes out, and then the whole plastic piece comes out. Repeat the process on this one and the one just around the corner, just around there. You'll need a 10mm socket to remove these two bolts. And that process will complete the fixings for this plastic cover, and then you'll be able to get to the belts a lot easier. Okay, this is the plastic cover that I've just removed from in there. And now you can see one of the belts. Actually, you can see both. This belt here, that goes to your air conditioning compressor. And there's another belt at the back here which goes to your alternator and also drives your water pump. So we're going to get to this one here, your alternator, you have to remove your air conditioner belt. I'll show you how to do it. This is the first bolt that you're going to have to loosen. You don't have to remove it, but you do have to loosen it to release, so you can release the tension off this belt. Okay, the other one's a little bit harder to see. Once that's loose, I'll just try and move this around a little bit. There is another bolt. Where is it? Right there. If you follow this rod down, that bolt there, that's your tensioner. You have to screw that anti-clockwise and that'll take the tension off that belt. You'll need a 14mm ring spanner to get to this bolt down at the pulley here. You can just get your arm in there. It will be tight. Don't be frightened to put a bit of tube down your spanner to get extra leverage. Try and use a ring spanner so you don't damage the hexagon nut. Okay, that's loose. Next for the tensioner, it's a 12mm socket on an extended bar. I use the little swivel and then the short extension bar. And basically that will get me up to the top. So again, it's a bit tricky to get down. And get it onto the head of the nut. But it gets me up to the top here, where I'll click that on. And then going anti-clockwise, that's going to loosen the adjusting arm, which will then loosen the belt so I can get it off. Adjustment bolt loosened off up the top. That then will then loosen this belt off. You can remove this belt off the pulley and then you'll be able to get to this second belt here. This second belt that does your alternator and your water pump has a different tensioning point, which I'm about to show you. Well, the first one you have to do, loosen, is this nut, or this bolt here, that one right there, which is a 8mm Allen key. I'll just do that now. Okay, I've already loosened this one off, but I'll show you. As you can see, it's pretty loose now, but I'm just going to show you how I do it. You put your Allen key in there. It will be very firm, usually a little bit corroded in there. I just get a 12-inch shifter, use the loop bit at the end of it, basically put it in like so, and then lever upwards. That will crack it loose. Once you've got that one loose, you don't have to take it completely out. I'll take you up to the top. You'll need a 12mm ring spanner. If you look down the back here, this is your alternator here. You'll need to loosen this bolt here. This is your adjusting arm for your alternator. There's another bolt up here. There's a slot in the arm here. There's another bolt with a 12mm head on it, which you can't see, but it's at the end of this arm. You'll need to loosen that. Once you've done that, the alternator, if you grab hold of it, you can pull it up towards you, and that will take the tension off the belt, and you'll be able to remove the belt. Okay, once you've changed your belts over, just check your belt tension. You want to get a twist like that. You don't want too much more of a twist or too less. It's about good tension. You might have to run your car and then retension a little bit, listen for squeaks and so forth. Yeah, then just do everything in reverse. Basically tighten all your bolts up. 3 bolts over here, 1 there, 2 above it for this belt, and then you got your tension one and your lock nut and your pulley, which is up there for this belt. Plastic cover back on. Put your wheel back on. Take your jack out. motor your car, connect your battery, remove your wheel chock. Remove your chock and you're done. The belt that I changed was the belt for the alternator today. The shop told me I needed a 4PK830. I found that too small, it didn't fit on. I ended up with a this belt here, which is the 855, which is the right length I found for this car. Yeah, job's done.